Russia's recognition of the independence of certain districts of Donetsk and Luhansk regions will have no legal consequences. This is how the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry reacted to the adoption of the relevant resolution by the Russian State Duma. The statement said such a decision would have devastating consequences for international law. It will be recalled that the State Duma's appeal to the President of Russia was supported by 351 deputies. Although the decision does not mean recognizing the independence of self-proclaimed entities, the document must be signed by Putin.
We call on Moscow to take a constructive stance towards achieving progress in the framework of the existing negotiations formats. Otherwise, Russia will bear full responsibility for running the Minsk agreements and the process of peaceful settlements of the armed conflict. From the official statement of the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine.
The global response to the appeal is immediate. Western countries named this a gross violation of Ukraine's sovereignty. The EU, NATO and the US State Department. This is a part of a holistic strategy of escalation around Ukraine, said US State Department advisor Derek Chollet in an exclusive interview with our channel.
These steps are deeply inconsistent with the Minsk agreement and Russia's responsibilities under Minsk. They're also not de-escalatory steps. These, in fact, are escalatory steps. So they are very concerning, and this is part of a consistent pattern that we have been watching closely over the last 4 months of Russia's continuing escalatory steps and threats against Ukraine.
Together with our allies, Ukraine has managed to prevent Russia from any further escalation in eastern Ukraine. This was stated during a briefing by the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Dmytro Kuleba. According to the officials, the security situation remains tense but completely under control. Ukraine is currently ready for any scenario.
This week, Ukraine and its partners continue to implement a strategy to deter Russian aggression. This is active diplomacy, which includes the continuous stay of high-ranking foreign guests, tough sanctions against Russia, strengthened military-technical cooperation with Ukraine, and strengthening the economic and financial stability of our state.
The central office of the Mejlis of the Crimean Tatar people will continue working in Kyiv and is not going to relocate, although it considers a real threat of Russia's military invasion of Ukraine. The statement of the Presidium of the Mejlis says Chairman of the Mejlis, Rafat Chubaru, called on the Crimean Tatars, who now live on the mainland of Ukraine, not to panic and enroll into the ranks of territorial defense units.
There is no reason to panic, although our people, after the occupation of Crimea, are no longer prone to panic attacks. We call on all persons liable for military duty, do not wait for direct mobilization, but enlist in territorial defense units. We keep working in the same mode. As long as sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine is preserved, we have hope that we will return our land. If there is no Ukraine, then we will have no hope, so we are there. This is the city of Kharkiv, which has been at the epicenter of not only the Ukrainian national agenda, but also international. This is due to the fact that this city is very close to the Russian Federation, and in the event of a possible invasion, it will be the first victim. That is why President Volodymyr Zelensky came here to hold a special meeting of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine. And yesterday, the Minister of Internal Affairs mentioned the city as one of the first to face consequences of the possible Russian invasion. We in the Ministry of Internal Affairs will not allow any separatist manifestations like the ones that took place in the spring of 2014 in Kharkiv, Luhansk and Donetsk cities. We will not allow Slavyansk to be repeated either. If some Girkin tries to seize the administrative building, he will be shot by our special forces without warning and without any hesitation. The situation in the city of Kyiv is calm. Everybody continue working, walking down the streets and do shopping. We've had this situation for 8 years. There is a zone of turbulence. We understand this, but this is due to our geopolitical and geographical situation. Our city is just about 40 kilometers from the Russian border. In the city of Kyiv, everything is calm and everything is under our control. We live a full life. We have development planning. The situation in the city is calm now despite some of the horrible publications in the Western media. Local journalists have even come up with a way to verify what is happening in Kharkiv.
Waking up at 6:40 near the airport, I listen if the flight takes off. We have 2 flights to Kyiv at 6:50, a very cool start of the day. When I understand 2 flights to Kyiv took off, so life goes on, so everything is okay.
Since yesterday, local police have been conducting an intensified service. The number of patrols on the streets has increased and the security service of Ukraine is conducting counter-sabotage exercises until March. The local community of IT specialists is also not disappointed with this situation and do not fear. People continue working, and the Association of Local IT Specialists notes that almost no one left Kharkiv due to the alarming signals.
Our community, we assessed, conducted surveys, and according to the surveys, 3.5 out of 10 points, our community has expressed its concern, so the level is very low and business owners and company executives perceive this whole situation. But it is clear that foreign clients they see a completely different picture in the media, and that is why they ask how we're doing here.
The city and Kharkiv region are carrying out all planned works on modernization and repairs. All the infrastructure is working, and the regional state administration has not received any signals of destabilization, reported by Nick Starkov. Alexei Matsuka from Kharkiv, UATV News.
There are no queues at Kyiv gas stations. Drivers are confident that if necessary, they can fill a full tank of the car, and it makes no sense to collect gasoline in canisters.
I will not buy. It will not save. Even if they invade, it will not save. How much can I buy and where to go, especially since I'm not going to run anyway?
There is no boom at car washes, service stations and tire fitting. There is no increased demand for flashlights, accumulators, batteries, portable chargers.
Very rarely asked. Very rarely, unfortunately. I can sell you if you want. Rarely there is no boom.
Against the backdrop of disturbing events around Ukraine, foreign currency has risen in price only today on average for 0.5–0.7 hryvnias, they say in exchanging offices. A dollar can be bought for 28.90 hryvnias, sell for 28.45. Euros can be purchased for 33 hryvnias and sold for 32.40, but in general, Ukrainians do not line up for currency.
Dollars, euros, currency are in stock. Everything is there, everything is good. Currency is both rented and bought. They ask, they give a little, they buy a little. But to be hysterical, to give me $1, no. People even come and ask if the dollar is.
Despite information about a possible Russian invasion as early as this week, Ukrainians do not plan to change their usual lifestyle.
I want to go to Reno to support. I heard about him. Well, in general, this is Sentsov. I've seen here, and in general, this is his work.
Plans for the week to enjoy the weather as much as possible. I want to go for a massage, go for a walk with the child. I advise you not to panic. Cook borscht, to knit a hat.
I just keep working, and I think that all this will somehow fall apart by itself, or our politicians will decide.
Reported by Ksenia Buhay, Svetlana Sich, UATV News.